guys, welcome to 6 p.m. KB. My name is Alexa, if you haven't been here before, and if you have, welcome back, online obviously. Let's just get started with a warm-up. So taking a nice neutral stance, feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to start rolling our shoulders back, bringing our shoulders up towards our ears and tucking our shoulder blades down into our back pockets if we had back pockets. This is a good time to start thinking about that breathing. We want to breathe in through the nose, down into the diaphragm, and out through the mouth. And let's pause here in mountain pose with our palms facing out. Our chest is nice and open. I have a nice space between my shoulders and my ears. My shoulder blades are down and back. Let's go into some helicopters. And I should let you guys know that I have my quarantine buddy here manning the camera. So if you have any questions, you can leave them live and we should be able to answer those. Let's return to square, so thinking hips, knees, toes pointed forward. Again, those shoulders are down and back. And let's do some reach and pulls. So we're going to start with our palms facing the ground, and we're going to twist into a nice tight fist and pull back. Let's think about exhaling as we pull back, just like we do with every strike. Even though we're at home, even though we're not going to be hitting bags, it's always good to practice that rhythmic breathing. You can also breathe in for 2, out for 2. Let's go into some knees. Thinking about staying nice and tall, so I'm not bringing my torso down. I'm keeping the top of my head pointed towards the ceiling. You can use your elbows or your palms. Either way is fine as long as you're not crunching down into it. Staying nice and tall, we want to bring our knees up. You never want to bring your face towards your knee. We don't want to knee ourselves in the face. That'd be very embarrassing. Let's do some seat kicks. Thinking about tucking our hips. We want to have a nice neutral lower back. We don't want to have that Instagram butt, so nice and tucked. And we want to be able to feel this through the front of our leg, through our quad, a little bit through the hip flexor. And again, breathing in through the nose, up through the mouth. Let's take that nice strong stance again, so we're feeling it in our legs. Our abs are engaged, our glutes are engaged, our quads, all the way down to our feet are engaged. Let's take a wider stance, inhaling up and exhaling over for a side stretch, making sure that our arm is over our ear, not in front of our face. I like to pulse here. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Still breathing. Breathing, breathing, breathing. One more on each side. You can just sit into it and hang out if you like. I like to pulse. I like to keep my stretches pretty dynamic before I start. One more on the side. Okay, let's do some kicks for stretch. We'll do 5 to the front, 5 to the side, and 5 to the back, adjusting as needed if you're in a small space. And you can touch down in between, or if you like, you can do these ones. I like to really focus on the stretch, so I touch down in between. So 5 each direction. To the back. You should probably always look behind you, even if you're in your house, even if you think you know what's behind you. You don't want to kick your cat or a wall. Other side. Thinking about keeping a nice soft knee in that standing leg. It'll help us balance better. Making sure we're staying as tall as possible. All right, let's take a minute or so, stretch out anything else tight or sore to you, just like we normally do. Grab a drink if you need it. We're gonna start slow, and then we're gonna speed it right up, since this is gonna be a little bit shorter, a lot of it shorter than our normal KB classes. So let's start in our nice, strong fighting stance. I've got my feet in the opposite corners of a square, literally this time, so you can envision that at home. Nice, strong guard, nice, tight fists. My guard matches my legs. If I switch, my guard switches. So front leg, front arm, match. Let's start off with thinking about our breathing with some front ball kicks. So remember, a little refresher, we always chamber up, nice soft knee in that standing leg, kicking with the ball of our foot, so we're pulling those toes back, maybe the knee, maybe the groin. We're chambering up, we land out, and let's do a little shuffle back. So we're gonna think about our breathing here. We're gonna breathe in with the chamber, exhale with the kick, breathe in, and stance, and do a little shuffle back. I did a little fast there. We'll shuffle back, breathing in, and set down. If you're losing your balance a little bit, no worries, just try to sink into that stance or into that standing leg. Let's do a couple more each side, breathing in, landing into a nice strong stance, a little shuffle back. I'll do it from the side 2 more times. Breathing in, exhale, breathing in again for that rechamber, setting down. Couple more times, breathing in, shuffle back, all right, let's speed it up this time. So now we're gonna go for the full speed kick and shuffle back. We're gonna go for a time that I have set here, starting now. Kick, land, shuffle back. Make sure your guard switches, make sure you keep your guard up. We don't wanna drop down and expose our face and our torso. Land, shuffle back. I'm gonna move to the side so that it's a little easier for you to see. Kick, land, shuffle back. Making sure we're kicking through the center. We don't wanna kick from out here. We wanna draw our knees together. And shuffle back. Oh, no, it was going. Kick. Using those hips to push through. Make sure you're exhaling. Just because we're kicking the air doesn't mean we can't practice our breathing. You're over halfway through. 10 seconds. Three, two, one. All right, we'll shake it out. Let's make that into a combination. So we're gonna start nice and simple, and let's go right into a front ball kick. We'll land it forward, and let's just do a nice simple jab cross. If you want a challenge, make it a jab, jab cross. Otherwise, just the jab cross. Kick, punch, punch. Remember, we're striking with our front 2 knuckles. You could pick a spot on your wall. You could pick a hook, maybe somewhere to look that where you're thinking about where your punches are going. So punching with intention. Kick, land forward, jab, cross. Not forgetting to use those hips. So from the side, we're kicking, we're landing forward, jab, cross. I like to think about aiming for the nose. Kick, jab, cross. Kick, jab, cross. Forgot my own combination there for a second. We'll do this for a couple minutes. Kick, jab, cross. If you're doing that challenge, really thinking about those abs and your glutes to kind of snap forward and using that cross for power. Speed, power. Speed, power. And I'll try from this side too. Kick, punch, punch. Kick, punch, punch. If you notice your shoulders creeping up a little bit, like I'm feeling mine doing right now, just really thinking about tucking them down and recovering your stance. Another challenge, if you'd like, you can do a double rising. So I like to aim for knee groin. I think those are pretty solid strikes. A knee to the groin, or sorry, a kick to the knee is devastating. Obviously to the groin, probably devastating also. Landing forward, jab cross. Really using those hips. And making sure that we're not straightening up and landing into straight legs, but landing into a nice strong stance. Kick, punch, punch. We're over halfway through this one. If you can, speed it up. If you want that challenge, double rising, jab, jab, cross. Don't forget to breathe. If you're not finding this challenging enough, try to be faster than me. Well, without compromising good form. 10 seconds. Show me your best. I'll just imagine you guys are doing your best. 2, and 1. All right, let's go down for some abs. So I'm gonna go this way so you guys can see me. Let's do some crunch and punch. So really thinking about those nice tight fists and those front 2 knuckles. We're imagining somebody's right here, and we're gonna aim for the nose. Crunch and punch. Switching hands, so left, right. Right, left. Try not to crunch your neck. We don't wanna do this. We wanna keep a nice straight spine as best we can. I like to look at like the ceiling or like the corner where the ceiling meets the wall. And don't forget that little twist at the top. And don't forget to breathe. Keep it up. Try to keep those shoulders in your back pockets. Don't let your shoulder do all the work. Just a couple more. One more on each side. All right, full body stretch here. And let's do some starfish crunches. This might look a little weird from the side, so I'm gonna show you this way. I'm out like a little starfish or a snow angel, and I'm gonna touch one hand to one foot. It doesn't have to actually touch. We're just reaching for it. And you can kind of use your other arm to brace. I'm gonna turn back to the side just in case that is easier to see. Again, try to keep a nice straight neck. We don't want to strain our neck. A couple more each side. And full body stretch again. All right, let's hop back up. Let's do some squats. Let's just do some normal squats. So however wide your stance needs to be, for me and my body proportions, makes sense for me to have kind of a wide stance and have my toes slightly splayed out. And we're gonna sit back into that little chair and squeeze at the top. So what you wanna think about is trying to kind of get your thighs parallel or close to parallel to the ground and squeezing at the top. So from the side, sitting back, and squeezing at the top. We'll do like 10 more of these. Really sitting back into that chair. I use my hands to counterbalance to keep my chest up. One more. we'll shake it out, and we'll return to our nice strong fighting stance. Left leg forward, right leg back. Let's do some roundhouse kicks. So again, nice strong guard, nice strong stance, pivoting off the front foot, we're gonna kick off the back. So our chamber this time is looking like crunching through the obliques, not through the hip. Kicking with a nice pointed toe, striking with this surface, and we'll land out. This time let's do hook to the face, and an uppercut to the gut. And we'll shuffle back again. Pivot, kick, land, hook, hook high, uppercut low. So on those hooks, we're coming around, almost like we're churning butter, or like our arm is a spoke in a train wheel. Kick, land forward, hook, hook, uppercut. Kick, land forward, hook, hook, uppercut. If you want, you can try playing with the levels. So hook high, hook low, maybe to the ribs, and an uppercut to the gut. Or you could do roundhouse kick, hook high, hook low, uppercut to the chin. The world is your oyster. Crunching through the obliques. And I'll show it from the side. Really turning that foot over. My toe is pointing like completely away from center. I'm at a 45. Kick, hook, hook, uppercut. Kick, hook, hook, uppercut. Kick. Remembering that breathing. Another thing to think about is bringing your guard with you. We want to make sure that we're not bringing our guard down over here or over here, but pointing. Make it double rising if you want to challenge. And make sure you're exhaling on every strike. Really, really important to pivot your feet or your standing leg foot on this one because you don't want to put unnecessary strain on your knees. Always protect your joints. Let's do this for like about a minute and a half more. Again, playing with that distancing if you want, or sorry, that leveling. You could also play with the distancing if you have a little more room. You could add a lunge or other footwork before you throw your hand strikes. But since we're working with a small space, presumably, we're going to keep it nice and tight. If this isn't challenging enough for you, I challenge you to hold right after that second kick. After the last part of your double rising, kick, kick, hold, and then land. So you know you're really working your obliques. Almost done here. Trying to keep that guard up. I know sometimes I get a little lazy with it. So if you forget, don't worry about it, just add it back in. We'll do 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right. We'll grab a quick drink. And when you're ready, meet me down on the floor for some circus bears. So heels off the ground. We're up in a V, up in a pike. I'm trying to keep my spine nice and straight. Do some circus bears. If you want more of a challenge, you can kind of lengthen yourself this way. Lean back a little bit, push your legs out a little bit more. If you need a little bit of a break, you can rest your heels on the ground. Let's switch. More legs up. Just a little bit more. push-ups today. We're gonna do some push-ups and some swimmers and pullbacks. So we're gonna be on our bellies on the ground. Try not to crunch your neck up. I find it's best to look down at the ground. Of course, if you need to look up at your watching device, do so briefly. So we're gonna start with, actually, just some normal push-ups. I'm gonna do knuckle push-ups for my bad wrists. I'm gonna keep my hands right under my shoulders and I'm pressing with the front two knuckles. I'm not leaning back here. If you're coming from your knees like me, make sure you're not doing this. And we're doing these for a time, so keep it up. Adjust if you need to. 5 seconds. One more for me. All right, now we're gonna go down into swimmers. So we're using our abs just as much as we are our back. So keep that core engaged. And swimmers, starting now. So I try to look at the ground so that I'm not crunching my neck up. If you need to, you can rest your feet on the ground. And let's go into some cobra lat pullbacks. So we're just doing almost like reach and pulls, but in this position. All right, let's do a little child's pose. Inhaling and exhaling into the stretch. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, let's hop back up. And let's do at least one more combination. Again, we're gonna keep it nice and simple. So we're just gonna do, let's keep that jab cross, and this time let's go into, oh wait, did we do our jab cross roundhouse kick? No, we didn't. Yeah, we did, right? Okay, we did. So let's move along to, we're gonna practice a little bit of shuffling around this way, as opposed to shuffling forward and back, because some of you are working with smaller spaces, and this can be helpful to add in to combinations where you're like, oh no, I don't have room that way. So let's do a nice simple jab off the front, a hook off the front. So we're gonna do a jab high, hook low, and then instead of shuffling forward, we're gonna bring that back foot in like we're gonna do a roundhouse kick off the front, and we're gonna step out to the side. So that foot comes in like we're gonna do a roundhouse kick off the front, but instead, we land into a 45. Let's do a jab cross. So all together, that looks like jab, hook low, shuffling to the 45, jab cross. Shuffle back and switch. If you want, you can switch 3 times. So again, that's jab, hook low, and shuffling to the 45, jab cross. And stepping back, switch. So, oops, forgetting my own combination, jab, hook, shuffling to the 45, jab cross. Switch, jab, hook, shuffling to the 45, jab cross. And back, switch, jab, hook, jab cross. So it's like 3 strikes off this front hand, really thinking about using our hips and our abs. And we'll switch. I'll do these from the side too, so you can see that. So we've got jab, hook, stepping to the 45, now I'm facing you guys. And switch. Do this one from this side. Jab, hook, to the 45, jab cross. Let's do a couple more of these for a short time. Jab, hook, 45, jab cross. And I'm aiming for the face on all of these except for that hook low. Switch. Jab, hook, shuffling to 45, jab cross. Switch. Try to make sure you're keeping that guard up. Mine sometimes kind of creeps closer and closer to me. We really want to think about having a nice extended guard, more than 90 degrees, because if it's this close, you can hit yourself in the face, and that's not fun. Jab, hook, jab, cross. You're over halfway through, you've got about 10 seconds left. Jab, hook, jab, cross. Jab, hook, jab, cross. Jab, hook, jab, cross. Okay. And we've got a few more minutes left, so let's finish off with some knees for speed. So for those of you who have done it before, you know the drill. If you haven't, nice strong fighting stance. We're going to knee off one side for about 30 seconds, grabbing your opponent by the hair, ears, shirt, shoulders, bringing your knee up into their face or body. Starting now, keep a nice soft knee in that standing leg. Make sure you're bringing your knee up and not your body down into it. We want to knee them in the face, not us. And keep breathing. I like to breathe in for 2, out for 2. 5 seconds. All right, switch sides. Try not to crunch, try not to let your shoulders creep up. You can think about pulling them down onto that knee. Over halfway through this side. How much time do we have, cameraman? All right. 2, 1. Okay. Shake it out. We'll do some cool down. All right. Let's just start with some huggers or chest openers, whatever you want to call these. Still thinking about a nice soft knee. We never ever want to lock out our knees. Let's stay nice and tall so that we can fill our lungs up with air and not have them crunched as they would be if we were sitting on the ground. Some helicopters, getting a nice twist through the spine. Wouldn't it be the worst if this wasn't actually live and we didn't do it right? Hopefully it is. Let's do that side stretch from before, since we did all that roundhouse kicking that I apparently immediately forgot. Again, keeping that arm over our ear. If you want to hang out in this one this time, I find that preferential at the end. As opposed to the beginning. One more time each side. Inhaling up, arm over our ear. You want to feel it all the way through, like the back of your shoulder down your hip. One more time. Okay, and let's get on the ground now that we have all of our breath. Let's do a little butterfly stretch. Everybody's got room for that, hopefully. If you're pulling from your feet, make sure you're pulling on your ankles and not your toes. We don't want to be doing this. This is really bad for our ankles. It's also not going to really help you get a deeper stretch. If you really want a deeper stretch, I find that it's easier to press from behind and push my pelvis towards my heels, but you can pull on your ankles. It just takes a little more core stability to keep yourself upright doing that. So never pulling on the toes. Let's do one leg out, turning towards that leg, trying to keep us straight-ish back as much as we can, bringing your chest forward. If you can't hang on to your foot, you can grab by the ankle, the calf, whatever you need to do to get a good stretch. Breathing in through the nose, down on the diaphragm, out through the mouth, keeping up that breathing. Let's stretch to the front a little bit, and switch sides. And stretch towards the front a little bit. Let's do one more. Let's do a little straddle stretch. Again, I like to press from behind to kind of deepen this stretch. I find that that works for me to slowly work up my flexibility and my mobility through this part of my leg. So we'll be here 6 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, so come hang out, or you can watch these videos later. They'll be on the Villari's Facebook page. Don't forget to check out Curtis's KB workouts. They're going to be, I believe, 8 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays, but again, they'll be on the Facebook page if you're getting up later than that these days. All right. And let's finish off with one big deep breath, because that just feels right to me. Keep things, keep some semblance of normalcy, right? So nice neutral stance. We're going to inhale and swan dive down. And from here, let's shake out our arms and our shoulders. I'm going to turn this way so you guys can still hear me. Shaking out our arms, rolling our shoulders back and forward. And when you're ready, we're going to shake our head no in a nice big movement. We're going to nod our head yes in a nice big movement. And we're going to tuck our tail and breathing in and in. Reaching up towards the ceiling. Full body stretch. And release. Awesome work, you guys. Come join us at 6 p.m. Next Monday.